How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I don't know if we've talked about Trey Johnson yet on the channel, but he definitely deserves discussion, and we're going to do another live game breakdown of this Yukon game. Shout out Kashigi for the cut-ups, as always. I got a new pop filter. Hopefully that helps with some of the audio stuff that I've been having issues with recently. But anyways, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, all that good stuff, and let me know who your favorite prospect to watch has been so far this season. It's been an awesome draft class. But let's get into this Trey Johnson performance, and he's going to start it off taking and missing an open three. Trey is an incredibly good shooter, well above 40% on pretty high volume, and he's not the most incredible driver. One of my long-standing stylistic comps has been D'Angelo Russell-ish, in terms of some of the decision making and rim pressure issues, but good job here, kind of just turning this defender. Great touch here with the left hand. His touch is absolutely fantastic, and he is pretty big, 6'5", 6'6". Looks like he has a pretty long wingspan, and is a tough shot taker and a tough shot maker. And I don't love these tough shot taking archetypes as much as some people, but they undeniably have value, and I think they can really raise a floor of what a player can do. Just guys who can really get buckets and create their own shots and score always have value in the NBA, regardless of its superstar value. But yeah, Trey relies on a lot of difficult shots, but I think that's common for a lot of young players. Defense turn offense right here. Trey's defense has been interesting, definitely inconsistent, but there's some really good moments, and we'll get to the defense when we get to the defense. But for now, we're watching Trey's scoring opportunities. Gonna draw a foul right there. Trey going to try to get all the way to the rim here and is able to do that. Another one, a lot of Trey's finishes are pretty difficult, or even this one where he gets all the way to the rim. It's fairly open, but there's defenders around him. It's not wide open. There's this defender contesting from behind. Let me get my drawing app open. Anyways, Trey stepping back, and don't love this shot, fairly early in the shot clock, contested long two. I think shot selection can definitely improve, especially when players, Trey is asked to carry a lot of offensive load on this team. Beautiful footwork right there, just absolutely gorgeous. So I do think when he's playing in a smaller role in the NBA, he could get better at the shot selection stuff for sure. But this I think this is exactly the same as that last shot where he just gets to his spot, so strong, great footwork, great touch from that mid-range area. I like Trey because he's more than just an ISO shot maker. He's doing a lot of ISO shot making in this game, but he's a really good movement shooter. Like I said, high volume three-point shooter off the catch as well. So he's just a really impressive shot maker all around. Gonna get downhill. Draw the foul right there. Trey just gonna pull that one. Ridiculous shooter. Really, really has the range you want to see. I think range is a really important thing to project shooting to the league. Guys who shoot from way beyond, and there's an example of the movement mid ranges he'll take. Doesn't make that one, but he definitely does make quite a few of them. And oh, beautiful, beautiful. Just this is absolutely disgusting. Stop on a dime behind the back against Liam McNeely, another highly touted freshman. Yeah, Trey is a bucket. This play to me is one of the most underrated, impressive ones to me because of how violently he stops and just hits that forward momentum floater. The touch looks incredible. Look how hard he plants his left foot right here. Just beautiful little floater right there. His touch is amazing, and once again, his ability to work off the ball, right, to curl around and score without having the ball. And yeah, that's a little bit of a prayer. A lot of these kind of grenade type shots with Trey, but again, that's just the price of doing business with these tough shot maker combo wing types. And again, Trey I think is a really high level shot maker, even if he's not the highest level decision maker. And his handle definitely can use work, but I think that's true of most wings at this age, where their ball control is often. And Trey's passing is interesting. I don't think it's nearly as good as D'Angelo Russell's, but there's similarities in that he has a lot of passing skill, which we'll see in this game, but the willingness and the decision making and the consistency isn't always there, which is always an interesting thing to me, because you'd think maybe you can improve that with better coaching, but Sometimes wiring can be really sticky, and Trey is making awesome plays against pressure like this. Trey's going to drive baseline. It doesn't create an advantage, but this defender comes to double team, and then he knows that his man's going to cut in right here. Really good job facing the pressure. Like, that's a high-level play by Trey Johnson, not just because of the pass, but because he can do it against these pressuring multiple defenders. And yeah, clearly just like skilled live dribble passer, can throw accurate bounce passes while he's moving with the ball, which is a valuable. I think this is the crazy. Oh my God, just a beautiful closeout attack pass where he gets two defenders. Look at the window. Look at, oh my God, two defenders jumping, wraps it around to, I think that's Kaluma. Absolutely absurd pass right there. Yeah, the high level flashes are there, which is what you really want to see, even if the consistency is not there. And I think it's a fine read right there, even if it ended up being a turnover. He definitely, I think a tight window. Trey tries to bounce it in between these squeezing defenders. Like, I think that's fine. Maybe not the best executed pass in terms of velocity and accuracy, but I think it's a totally defensible decision right there. And nice little swing out pass to Kaluma for three. And I think now we're going to get to the defense, where we're going to see good and bad. Good again, Trey getting the deflection. Like, he has some real nice tools when he locks in on the ball. Very quick laterally, as you can see. His feet move really well. He's very balanced, has a pretty low center of gravity. Good defending in the post right here. Just kind of walling up Caravan, who I think is eventually, again, he turns the ball over. Like, look at Trey walling up right here. He has this slight knee bend, which really helps him maintain like that angle. Helps him maintain his balance and his strength. And yeah, Caravan can't move him. Caravan, another guy who might get drafted in the first round, and Trey Johnson, much younger than him too, is holding up really well. And yeah, bigger players are going to be able to go through him, but he's a 6'5", 6'6" guard wing. I'm not going to penalize a player like that for not being able to guard in the post, right? Like, that's just not ever going to be what they have to do. And if they can, it's just icing on the cake right there. But Trey's like off-ball awareness, and he has a lot of these like controller turning off moments where he's kind of just staring at the ball, loses sight of his man lifting to the wing, and ends up giving up a pretty open look right there. And there's a couple examples of this in this game that we're going to get to. Trey also can be really good getting around screens too, but this is another example of where he's just kind of falling asleep. Trey's supposed to be switching out onto this guy right here. Trey kind of loses sight of, I'm not really sure what exactly he's doing. His guy cuts baseline, ends up finishing. So there are these moments where you are concerned about effort level and engagement. It is understandable because of his age for sure, and because of how much offensive responsibility he has. It's very common for toolsy freshmen who shoot the ball a lot and dribble the ball a lot to not be as locked in on defense as they end up being in the NBA when, you know, whatever their role settles and ends up being. But man, like, when Trey locks in, look at how agile he is. He bends around this screen really well. A lot of defenders in this position, they're chasing from behind, and they're just gonna fly that way because they can't stop on a dime. But look at Trey, immediately stopping his momentum, bouncing, and just getting a stop right there pretty much. And yeah, he is a really impressive on-ball defender when he locks in. I think Trey definitely has a defensive ceiling in terms of the off-ball defense, which is, you know, probably going to keep him from being like a really great defender. But man, the screen navigation is really promising. Really promising. He doesn't end up finishing this play. McNeely does a good job getting all the way to the rim right there. Just nice finish there. Little scoop shot. But yeah, Trey like isn't the most explosive or athletic guy. Like, he's really laterally quick and agile and twitchy in short areas, but not the most like explosive dunk on you guy. And we talked about that with some of his offensive limitations, right? Not a very explosive finisher, doesn't necessarily get to the rim as much as you'd like. And I think a lot of that stuff you see on defense with his limitations as an interior defender. But again, this is a problem for 99% of guards / wings in this archetype. And nice little closeout right here. Trey is going to wall up, and I think that's going to be, looks like he got a hand on that ball, maybe? Yeah, it looks like he did. I mean, Trey just a very, very active on-ball defender when he wants to be. And that's really good. Off-ball defense, though, is going to be an issue. I'm definitely higher on Trey Johnson than I was coming into the year, just because of some of his defense that we've seen, and just the high volume 3-point shooting. That's honestly my favorite thing about Trey. Like, he is a great, obviously off dribble creator, tough shot maker, but you can legit use him just as like a movement shooter, sprint him off of threes, and I think that really boosts like his ceiling on good teams, because good teams usually have a lot of players who can create and score and dribble the ball, and obviously there's certain teams who will need that. Again, Trey kind of ball watching right here, or just pinching in too hard. But the fact that you can, play Trey next to other guys because of his movement shooting, and hopefully you can get more out of the passing and help him hone the decisions. Like, I don't know if I think Trey could steal that. I don't think his ceiling is like superstar high. Could maybe see him getting an all-star nod or two, or just like being that level of impact, like a secondary scorer with good defense, hopefully. But I think that's worth a lottery pick, even in a good class like this one. I don't know how high I'm going to be on Trey, but I think he's a good prospect, and I'm quite excited to keep watching him. Shout out Dylan Harper. I didn't mean to click this video. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate y'all, and have a good night.